Happy Monday, everybody, and welcome back to Mindset Monday. I'm your host, Kristen Brumbaugh, and if this is your first time joining us, every Monday we go live right here in the group to talk about things that will help our mindset throughout the week. That could be anything from habits to, mental space as to how we deal with a changing market. That could be routines. That could be, different coping things. So every Monday we get together here and we talk about the different things to help us be stronger mentally throughout the week and deal with the daily stresses of real estate. As we know, real estate can be at times a very stressful industry to be in. And the last 2 years have shown us that it is incredibly easy to get burnt out with everything that's going on. So I wanted to go ahead and start this class. We started this earlier this year, and we've talked about a lot of different things, but I hope that some of the things that we've talked about have been helpful for you and have helped you kind of deal with the daily stresses of not only this industry, but your life. So today's topic is going to be all about the rule of five as it pertains to real estate. Now, as you're jumping in here, if you could give me a live or a replay in the chat, depending on when you're joining me, whether it's live Monday morning here in the live stream, or if you're watching it later on, just drop a replay. Give me a good morning, something in the chat. Let me know you're here, and we'll go ahead and get started. You guys know I love engagements, so drop some hearts, some likes, that kind of thing. That's really what helps fuel my motivation to do this every Monday. So to know that I can at least have an impact and help you guys. So today's topic is the rule of five as it pertains to real estate. Now, if you're not familiar with the rule of five, it is a rule, I guess, that was pioneered by John Maxwell. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of John Maxwell. And it is it is designed to help you be your best self each day, to help put your best foot forward each day. And I can't take full credit for the adaptation of this to real estate. It was something based on what I read. And so I wanted to share it with you guys and felt like this would be a good space to do that. Now, the original rule states that if you have, and it's going to get kind of weird here for a second, if you have a tree that you're wishing to cut down and with an axe and you'll cut it, it says you'll cut the tree down by following the simple rule of five. Number one, pick up the axe daily. Number two, strike 5 times, put down. Eventually, the tree will come down. The size of the tree obviously will determine how long it takes you, but I think the method here is that if you chip away at something every single day, you work at it a little bit each and every day, then eventually you will get to where you're trying to get to. So that's going to be meeting your goals. That's going to be achieving the things you want to achieve, whether that's personally or professionally. So I felt like this would be really applicable, especially in today's market, because a lot of us are trying to find our footing again and our routines and our habits as the market has changed over the past few months. I don't want to so much say shifted, but as we start to get back to this normalizing market, sometimes we kind of just need a reminder on what it is, what are the daily things, what are the regular routine things that we need to be doing to create success for ourselves and in our lives. So if you guys are ready to dive in, give me a thumbs up or heart in the chat or in the little reactions there on Facebook, and I will go ahead and get started. So how does the rule of five apply to real estate? How do we transition this? Number one, sharpen your axe. So his was pick up the axe daily. Ours is going to be sharpen the axe. And with what we're looking at here is what are the things that you're doing daily? What does your daily discipline look like to sharpen your axe? What are you doing to improve your skills, to educate yourself to a higher level, to become a better version of yourself, to become a better agent, to become a better representation for your clients? What are you doing daily to improve your skill set and to improve upon who you were so that you're a better version today than you were yesterday? Some ideas and things you can do to help sharpen your axe are to know your local market stats. Being prepared, you guys know I've talked about this a million times, being prepared with data and being in the know as to what the market is doing, not just on a national level, but on a hyper local level. Think about your neighborhoods, the areas of town that you would like to focus on for your business. Being super aware of the data in those areas is going to be key to making sure that you are well equipped and well informed to best represent your clients and to best represent the prospects that you're trying to attract. Number two, read and study effective ways to serve your clients at a higher level. So, a lot of times we talk about reading things that are pertain specifically to real estate, and that is, I agree, that's what you should be doing. But also think about what else you can be reading that isn't necessarily real estate specific, but can still help you. Reading about leadership, reading about servitude, as far as how you can best serve your clients, about customer service, about reading how you can best negotiate for them, things like that. Brushing up on all of your skills in real estate, not just real estate specific, but the things that you can do to help serve your clients at a higher level. Number three, model your business after agents you admire in other markets that you can follow on social media or YouTube. So I like this one because a lot of times we kind of get stuck in our bubble and we don't really realize the things that we could be doing differently. So I encourage you to go onto YouTube, to go onto social media and find people find realtors in other areas that have large followings and pay attention to what they're doing. Now, we know large following doesn't always necessarily equal success, but they have obviously shown dedication to building that audience. So odds are they are probably showing that same dedication in their business as well. So go and find people online in other markets so you can kind of think outside of the box so that you can see what other people are doing, get new creative ideas. Solidify your listing presentation. That is, we have a number of different tools here that can help you with listing presentations. So looking in One Stop, looking in Core Present, things like that. Solidify your listing presentation, be ready to go so that when you do get the opportunity to get in front of a listing prospect, you are 100% on your game. Practice it, role play it, be 100% ready for those opportunities. And so make sure it is just rock solid and especially up to date with market information. And as the market changes, make sure it's constantly updated. Find a coach or a mentor or a mastermind group to hone your process. So whether that is a mentor here at JPAR or you're part of the growth team or or you have a coach, an outside coach or anything like that, having someone to help you hone your process and really not filter, but really help you fine tune that axe, right? Help you sharpen that axe is always good to have that feedback, that two-way feedback there. And develop skills that play to your strength and differ you from other agents. So I think this one is good because, again, sometimes we get in our minds that we're all similar, right? We're all the same kind of agent. But the fact is that we're all different human beings. And so what attracts someone to you won't necessarily attract them to someone else. So I encourage you to think about the ways that you're unique, think about the ways that you're different, and what it is that your clients like about working with you, and really fine tune that and develop that more. So that way you are that much more unique, and find ways to brand yourself with those things that set you apart. And so that all falls under number one, which is sharpen the axe. And that's just about improving on ourselves each and every day. Got a lot of good mornings here. I wasn't trying to ignore those, but got a lot of good mornings. Lots of stuff. All right. Lots of you guys on this morning. I love it. I love it. Thanks so much for hopping on. So in the rule of five, we have number two, which is speak to one past client or person in your sphere every day. And we've talked about this a million times. The importance of talking to people every day, to having those conversations, to creating those relationships. So put it as a reminder on your calendar. If you are struggling with the nurture part of your sphere or the follow-up aspect of this business, then put it on your calendar to just make it a goal at first to talk to one person a day, either a past client or a member of your sphere. Make it a blocked out time, 20 minutes on your calendar every day to call that person up or to schedule someone for coffee or for lunch. But make one point of contact at a minimum per day. Now, depending on your goals, you might want to do more than that. Depends on your drive, depends on your goals. So you might want to do more than that. But to get you started, make sure you're talking to at least one person per day. Obviously, this is a game of numbers sometimes. So the more people you talk to, the higher your odds are of converting to more transactions and to more closings. But again, if you're struggling with that aspect of the nurture and the follow up side of it, making it a goal to at least talk to one person per day, maybe you need to break out of your shell, right? I think the pandemic, for those that were maybe already slightly introverted, it really just clammed us right up, right? It allowed us to be at our homes in our happy space. And I think it's been a lot harder for some of those people to come out of those shells and to start talking to people on a regular basis again. So if you're one of those people, then make it an effort to talk to somebody every single day. Number 3, add value to 5 homeowners per day. And what does that look like to add value to 5 homeowners per day? And I have all my notes right here in front of me, guys. You guys know I love to work from a note system. I love to have reminders because I don't want to miss any value that I can share with you guys. And so what does that look like to add value to 5 homeowners per day? Drop in the comments if you can take a guess as to what it would look like to add value to 5 homeowners per day. What kind of things you think you might need to do in your routine or in your business to be able to give that value. I would love to see some of y'all's thoughts. And what I would also say is one of the tools that you guys have is market reports in KV Core. And this isn't necessarily one of the things that I was going to cover, but making sure that all of your homeowners are on market reports is really important. I think Andy actually covered this last week, maybe in the office meeting. But making sure that all of your homeowners are on market reports so they can be getting up-to-date information about what the market around them is doing. And the great thing about market reports in KV Core is that it does it for you, right? You don't have to remember to go send them stuff. Val said CMA. Yeah, 100%. That's actually one of the things that's on the list. And I'll go over that here more in just a second. But CMAs are absolutely a way to add value. One of the great things, though, or one of the things that I would highly recommend is to make sure that you're adding personalized value as well. So I think it's really important to have all of your homeowners set up on automated market reports, but find ways to add personalized value. So maybe you have them set up on market reports, but then you also have a reminder once a month to give them a call, make sure they got that report, see if they have any questions, just do some personal touch in, right? So another way that you can add value in those phone calls is to call and just see how they're doing, see how they're enjoying their home, see how things are going, make it personal, make it feel like you actually care. And we do care about our clients in those moments, but sometimes we get removed from that sale and it kind of feels tough sometimes to like fall back into that comfortable routine we got into them with them. But giving them a call, just checking in personally, see how they're doing, being concerned about them genuinely is a great way to add value. You can also call them about homes that have just sold in their area. So before you call people in your sphere or your past client list, it might be good to look up what's going on specifically in their neighborhood. Maybe there's something that sold recently on their street or in their neighborhood that's similar to what they have. And so it might be good to be armed with that data so you can call them up and let them know about what the home sold for in that neighborhood, and kind of the circumstances as much as you can find out around that sale. So that way you can help better equip them in their decision-making process. You can also call them about homes that have just come on the market in their neighborhood. I would say you can actually do this one of 2 ways. You can call them about homes that have come on the market that have not yet sold that are in their neighborhood, just to kind of get a touch base of, hey, this home just came on the market. This is what they're looking at selling it for. Here are my thoughts on that. What do you guys think about that? You can also call them if they're maybe kind of looking. Maybe you've had a brief chat about what their next step might be. And maybe it's not right now, but maybe it's 6 months down the road or 12 months down the road. You can go ahead and have a hot sheet, or whenever you go to call them, go ahead and pull up information about homes that are on the market right now that might fit that criteria. And you can educate them more about what that's looking like, what that market is looking like. That's a great value to add to them, is keeping them informed of what the market looks like, of where they're trying to get to, whether that's local or not. And if it's not local, starting the process of setting them up with a referral that's outside of the market. That's a great way to add value. Like Val said, sending a CMA. I love the video CMAs that people have done. And that's one of the things that I think is missing in this market, is a video CMA. And you might be asking, well, how do I do a video CMA? So one of the ways that I would do it, I like the video CMA where I've seen where people are actually doing like a screen record and walking through the data and talking through it, because it allows you to better explain what they're looking at, right? It's not just a spreadsheet or just a PDF or a unpersonalized presentation. It is an actual video that says, hey, Joe and Sally, this is something I just wanted to pull together for you guys real quick. It's actually a market analysis of your home. And here's kind of what we're seeing in your area. Here's where things have been trending, where they were 3-6 months ago, where things might be looking in the next 3 to 6 months. I just wanted you guys to be educated and aware of what your home is doing in this market. And so having that video aspect, if you're looking for a tool to do screen records of your computer, you can use Loom, Loom. That is an app that you download on your computer, and it is a great way to screen record. And the great thing as well is it will also have a small little bubble of your camera on at you so they can see your face. I encourage you to use that feature because it allows them to keep that personal connection and feel like they are actually talking to you. And then this kind of falls into the same realm, but just calling them with how changes in the market are affecting their home value. Again, as the market changes, people are uncertain as to whether their home value is still going up, if it's going to go down. There is a lot of fear that is going to happen from the homeowner base of society as to what their home value is going to do. And so just keeping them informed and educated as to their home's value. And this is mainly geared towards listings, but I would also venture to say you could use this mentality towards buyers as well. If you have buyers that are still sitting out there and just not sure, but some of their criteria, keeping them constantly informed as to what they're doing. And then that way, if, what they're looking at has peaked and is starting to come down, or if it's still going up, what it's doing, and you can help them make the most informed decision. Providing that value is going to reward you bukus with clients, because they're going to remember that value and they're going to come back to you because you have shown that you are the expert in what they're looking for. And that value and that expertise is going to be what they want when they are looking to make their purchase or sell their home. So from the rule of 5, I feel like each of these have like an extra little step of 5. But from the rule of 5, number 4 is add value to 5 potential buyers each day. And I know we talked about buyers a little bit in the last stuff, but there's some other things that we can do. Again, having automated emails that go out to them about homes that come on the market. You guys know you can set them up on a drip in MLS, but having them set up on that drip is a great automated way to provide value consistently and keep in front of them. Again, just, adding some personalized touches to that, adding some value to that automation is a great way to make sure that you're staying front and center in their lives. And that way, when they're ready to make that purchase, you're the person they think of. If you guys want to drop in the chat some ways that you think you can add value to buyer prospects, I would love to hear it. I do have 6 ways here. But I would love to hear how you guys think you could send value other than automated reports to buyer prospects. But I'll go ahead and dive in while you guys are doing that. Number 1, show properties. Obviously, people who are looking to buy, they want to see homes, right? So showing them homes that are in their price point, that are, and you guys know, in your price point could be their price point exactly, or it might need to come down a little bit based on rates and all of that. But showing them homes that are in their price point is a great way to add value. Paige said, keep them up to date on financing news. I think that's really crucial, right? In this era where rates are changing, I think it's really crucial to keep them constantly updated on what that means for them. Number 2, call with information on a just listed home. So homes, obviously, that are hitting the market, even if you have someone who's not looking to buy in the next 30 days, but homes that are hitting the market that meet their criteria, I think it's important to give them a call and say, hey guys, look, this home just came on the market. I know you're not quite ready yet, but I want you to kind of see what the market is looking like. And this one meets your criteria, and here's where we're at with it. Because you never know, it might be something where they might be willing to move up. But if all else fails, what it does is it keeps them educated. Number 3, schedule buyer consultation appointments. The more times you can get in front of somebody, face to face with somebody, whether that's in person or on Zoom or FaceTime, the more times you can get face to face with them, the more it's going to solidify that relationship. So schedule more consultations, buyer consultations, where you can set up and learn their criteria, learn their vibe, learn their language a little bit, and better connect with them. Even if you just have a lead, I encourage you to have a buyer consultation, even if they're not looking to move in the next 6 months, because it's going to help you cement that foundational relationship with them. Number 4, check in to see if they've found homes online that have caught their attention. You guys know when people are home searching, they are always looking online. And even when they're not looking online is looking for them. Because once they go to Zillow or Realtor.com that first time, they're going to start getting hit with ads. They're going to start, homes are going to be everywhere, right? And so check in, see if there's anything online that's caught their attention that they might want to see, or they have questions about, or just want to know more details. Let them know that you can be a resource to help get that information without them feeling like they have to put themselves out there just yet. So check in to see if they've found homes online that have caught their attention. Similar to our personalized video CMA, doing a personalized screen recording of homes that are on the market that they might be interested in. Scrolling through the pictures or the virtual tours or things like that, doing that screen record of information of homes that have just been listed or that are on the market that might fit their criteria. There might be a good match. Again, that video contact is really important because it helps just further cement that relationship. And then number 6 would be an unsolicited video. So this would be a video they didn't necessarily ask for, but an unsolicited video that is a walkthrough of a new listing, or maybe a model home if it's, if they're thinking new construction, but just going out of your way to provide something to them that they didn't necessarily ask for. So unsolicited video of homes, walkthrough of homes, of model homes, things like that can really go a long way because it makes them feel like you're at least thinking of them and that you're working for them, even if they're not 100% ready to go to write contracts yet. It really helps build that relationship. And then number 5 of our rule of 5 for real estate is add people and value to your database every day. Again, this is something we've talked about before, is growing your database and constantly adding people to your database. Your database is your beating heart, if you will, of your business. And so the more you continue to add blood to that heart, and adding more people is adding blood to your heart, the more oxygen, the more blood, and the more life you can add to that beating heart, the healthier it's going to be and the stronger it's going to make your business. So adding people to your database every single day. Some ways, and we've talked about this before, that we can add people to our database are to obviously buy leads. You can buy leads on Zillow or Realtor.com. You can do Google ads. You can do Facebook ads. Buying leads is a way to continue to grow your database. Keep in mind, online leads are typically longer nurture. So they are typically about 6 months. Assuming you are staying in front of them, you have them set up on all of your automated reports, and that you're continuing to nurture them. Not every phone number on those leads is going to be correct, and you just have to know that comes with the territory. Online leads typically have about a 1 to 3% conversion rate. So just as long as you're going into it with your eyes wide open and understand what you're getting, then it can be a great way to build your database. The next one is open houses. I think we talked about this last week or maybe the week before. Get out there and do more open houses, guys. I am actually in the process of putting together some not worksheets, but handouts, if you will, with some lead generation ideas. And open houses are on there because they're still a great way to pick up additional members to your database. Now, those people can be buyers who are actually coming to look through. Those people could just be looky-loo neighbors, right? How many times have you had an open house where you've gotten looky-loo neighbors? But I encourage you to embrace those looky-loo neighbors, because that's conversations that you can have. They are obviously interested in what the neighborhood is doing, what the market is doing, and continuing to build that relationship with that person and staying in front of them is going to provide the value that you need to engage them in a future listing opportunity. So, embracing every single person who comes through the door of an open house. I encourage you to do one open house a month if you can, at a minimum, because it's going to keep your database healthy. And it's a really cost-effective way if you can get in a house, even if you don't have listings, if there's another agent that's willing to let you do an open house. Vacant homes are great because they can be done like every weekend. Model homes, if you can sit at them, that kind of thing, are a great way as well. But doing open houses, you might find with builders, I know something that we did occasionally was whenever I was in new construction, was we would let agents from other brokerages, I wouldn't say other brokerages, but we would let outside agents who weren't necessarily the on-site builder agent sit on-site, like in our spec homes as well, to help catch any traffic that might be driving by. And it gave them an opportunity to try to pick up some buyers and things like that as well. So talking to your site agents that are doing new construction in the area and seeing if there's an opportunity for you to sit on site either in the model home or in the spec homes is a great way to do open houses when there might not necessarily be any listings for you to sit in a traditional general brokerage market. Leverage circle prospecting. When things go on the market, marketing to those around that listing, marketing to those around that house that sold or that you sold as a buyer's agent, things like that. Leverage your circle prospecting. Knock on doors. That's not for everybody, obviously, but if you're comfortable with it, knocking on doors, I think a great way to get your feet wet with knocking on doors is if you're doing an open house, inviting the neighbors to the open house. Inviting the neighbors or letting the neighbors know that the home has gone on the market, things like that is a great way to start your door knocking if you are just uncomfortable, but you want to get into it. Again, I'm not saying it's for everybody, but if that's something that you're wanting to do. Making sure that you have your friends and your family on there. Now, in KV Core, the great thing is that you can tag friends, family, realtors, all of that. You can tag everybody in your database. So making sure that as you put people in your database, you're applying the proper tag so that way you can send them the right messaging. Some people are like, oh, I don't want to put my friends and family in there because I don't want to bother them. Bother them, because you're going to get mad in 3 months or 6 months when they buy or sell a house and they use somebody else and they're like, oh, I completely forgot that's what you were doing. I completely forgot you were a realtor. Remind them that you are a realtor and make it personal, because they are your friends and family. So make sure that they know and are reminded constantly of what you do. So that way you don't have that awkward conversation down the line when they decide to use someone else because they forgot. Make it no excuses. If they forgot, they're going to have to come up with a better one than that. And then add people you do business with, like your dentist, accountants, other service providers. Add people that you do business with to your database as well. Because again, staying in front of them is going to help that referral network. So even if they're not doing something right now, they'll remember, and because you're going to stay in front of them, they'll remember what you do, and then they can become great referral sources. Remember, more people in the database equals more opportunities for closings. So continuing to grow that database so it's a healthy database is really important. So that was number 5. I'll do a quick recap of our 5 rules. I'm not going to go through all the details of it. We'll just hit the highlights. But talking about the rule of 5 for success in real estate, and that was number 1: sharpen your axe. Staying up to date, staying informed, staying educated is a great way to sharpen your axe. So that way you are constantly the expert to your database. Number 2, speak to a past client or a person in your sphere or your database every single day at a minimum. The more the merrier. Number 3, add value to 5 homeowners a day. And that leads me to number 4, which is add value to 5 buyers a day. Remember, value to homeowners can be video CMAs. It can be calls about the neighborhood changes. It can be things like that. A value to 5 buyers could be showing properties. Unsolicited walkthrough videos of homes are great ways to add value to buyers. And then number 5 was to add people and value to your database every single day. If this was helpful for you guys, I really would love to hear, because I found this article to be really intriguing and to be really like step, right? Like we love things when it's like, just tell me what to do, right? I've talked to so many agents that are like, just tell me what to do. If you just tell me the things to check off, I can do that. I don't want to have to go think about it. Well, this is a great way to have that checklist. And so I would love to hear from you guys what your biggest takeaway from the rule of 5, what your biggest takeaway from today was for the rule of 5 for real estate. Because again, like I said, I found a lot. Found it to be really intriguing and found a lot of value in it. Hopefully this was as helpful to you as it was to me. I found a lot of ways I could transition it to my personal life as well. And so hopefully you'll be able to take this into your week and you'll be able to apply it and start getting the success that you might be looking for, or getting the balance that you might be looking for as well, to help you grow into that successful agent. If you're already, at where you want to be, that's great. Sometimes it's good to sharpen the tools and kind of reset the mindset to continue that success. So thank you guys so much for hopping on with me today. I really do appreciate it. I love getting on these Mindset Mondays. Even if sometimes I feel like I'm running in here because it's Monday, right? And so, but thanks so much for hanging in there with me today, guys. And I really appreciate you being on. Again, if you're watching this in a replay, then drop a replay. And if you're dropping the live, drop the live or give me a good morning. I will talk to you guys next week, and I'll post next week's topic here shortly. So if you guys have any topic ideas, or you want me to cover anything specifically, or you come across an article that you think might be good to share for our Mindset Mondays, send it over to me. I'd love to check it out. I'm constantly looking for new content to share with you guys. So yeah, that's all I got. I'm going to stop rattling here because that's rambling. Anyway, have a good one, guys, and I will talk to you soon.